Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our class today. We are going to be talking about being creative in photography. You just have to get creative. Number one, composition in photography. The first thing that comes to our mind, compose. The English, compose. We should know what that means. So, photography is all about creativity, inspiration, and sharing your unique artistic vision. With all the freedom, is there any space for rules in photography? Yes, there's rules in photography. And without keeping the rules, the fundamental in mind, you cannot excel as a photographer. Just basic knowledge of photography, composing rules will give you the tools to experiment as work on improving and establishing your styles. Now, what is composition in photography? As in visual art, composition in photography is simply the arrangement of visual elements within a frame. You can see the different the rules of composition to follow for the best shots. Rule of third, the golden ratio, leading line, diagonals, frame within frame, figure to ground, fill the frame, center dominant eye, patterns are repetition, symmetry and asymmetry. These are rules, these are necessary rules of composition to follow in photography to get a good shot. You can see these are the image examples of the rules. Those are the examples, and this is the remaining images to the rules, like frame within frame. We are going to be talking about macro photography, and what comes to our mind when we say macro, micro. So what is macro photography? Macro photography is a unique form of photography that involves photographing small objects like insects, leaves. So how to take macro photos? These days, cameras like mirrorless DSLR are able to take macro photos. The camera automatically adjusts to take macro photos. Top 10 tips for macro photography. Get a good lens. Choose a suitable object. Choosing a suitable object is good. Number 3. Pick the best location and weather. You just have to pick the location suitable. Get stable with tripod. Use a longer focal length for living subjects. Incorporate assistive accessories. You can see the butterflies on the leaf. That's something assistive. Customize your background. The background is blur, and that is what they mean by. Pay attention to your depth of field. Go manual. Create better lighting. The key component in photography is light. A macro photographer obviously greatly benefit from having a good light. 3. Long exposure. Looking to capture breathtaking long exposure photo, we are here to help you do that. So what is long exposure in photography? Long exposure photography is a technique that involves capturing a single image over an extended period of time using low shutter speed. When is long exposure technique useful? So long exposure is perfect if you want to deliberately incorporate blur into your photos. Why blurring can happen naturally in photography? That's it. Essential gears for long exposure images. Long exposure photography doesn't require sophisticated gears before you can do long exposure. And it's also not a technique you can pull off using a handheld point and shoot camera. It's not that you can use any camera. An interchangeable lens camera is something you need. Something like DSLR mirrorless will give you more control and flexibility, like Nikon, Canon. Also, you will need a wide angle lens, a tripod, a neutral density filter, and a remote release. Thank you so much for your time. And if you would like to have the material to this course, you can contact me. Good night.